Hello and welcome to Speaking from the Purple Couch. I don't know if you recall that I did an interview with two women that were experiencing DV. That means domestic V. And I wanted you all to get an update on one of those women's situation. And presently, I should say currently, her husband has been arrested. The cult leader has been arrested, and I want you to hear what's going on now. And she has actually taken back her power. So you will know, first you will hear and see the news clip, and then you will see part of the interview that I did with her. Now, regarding the news clip and everything else, fair use copyright notice disclaimer. The copyright laws of the United States recognizes a fair use of copyrighted content. Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976 states, notwithstanding the provisions of sections 106 and 106A, is made for the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phono records or by any other means specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. This video and our YouTube channel in general may contain certain copyrighted works that were not specifically authored or authorized to be used by the copyright holders, but which we believe in good faith are protected by federal law and the fair use doctrine for one or more of the reasons noted above, and this is for educational and teaching purposes as well as news reporting. If you have any specific concerns about this video or our position on the fair use defense, please contact us at 202-607-8195 so we can discuss amicably. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ron Jones.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. The wife of a reported cult leader wants to tell her side of the story. Eligio Bishop, also known as Nature Boy, remains behind bars tonight, facing charges that include rape. 11 Alive's Paula Surham just finished speaking with his wife, and she joins us live at the DeKalb County Jail where Bishop is tonight. Paula?
Yeah, Jennifer, after 3 years of knowing each other, Velvet Marquez tells me Eligio Bishop forced her to marry him. Why? She says that he'd tell her that she'd then be forced to bail him out of jail if anything were to happen to him. And of course, today, something quite opposite is happening. She's telling us her side of the story.
I feel that now looking back, I feel that I fell in love with an idea, because he pretended to be someone that he wasn't.
Behind this smiling face, Velvet Marquez faced her hardest years next to Eligio Bishop.
He literally held me hostage. He took all of my identification, my passport, my birth certificate, my social, my bank cards, everything, you name it, medical documentations.
She says Bishop, the leader of the so-called cult Carbon Nation, went from spoiling her to abusing her when she got pregnant.
I was forced to engage in sexual activity that I did not want to do. I was still strangled on multiple occasions. So I had to willingly engage in these sexual activities because of to keep myself safe. He would abuse me in front of the women.
She had their daughter in 2019, and a year and a half later, she says he forced her to legally marry him in a Las Vegas chapel.
There was no medical attention given to us, so when I actually went into labor, I had to be rushed to the hospital 2 hours away.
For years, the cult would drive and settle across Central America. Velvet says Bishop lived off of other members' PPP loans and life savings. She gave him her $3,000 college fund, while others gave tens of thousands of dollars. And after 4 tries, she successfully ran away with their daughter with no money but hope.
My child is important. I don't understand how anybody could leave their child to be with him or to go live with him.
Now, Velvet tells me she has since received death threats from Eligio and that he even showed up to her family's home in Louisiana just months after she ran away. Jennifer?
Paula, do we know, did she ever try reaching out to law enforcement?
She tells me she did, but it was very hard to track him down because he moves so often, running away from law enforcement. But of course, now he is behind bars. Now, we also did speak to a former cult member, and we have her side of the story as well on 11alive.com. Jennifer?
All right, Paula, very involved story here. Thank you so much. Now, we have been following this story closely since Eligio Bishop's arrest. We have much more on the group that he's leading on our website, 11alive.com.
Hello and welcome to the Purple Couch. And now let us speak from the Purple Couch. Come to the Purple Couch. Yes, it's time that we are speaking from the Purple Couch. And we want you to be there or be with. Again, we welcome you back to the Purple Couch. We hope that this show will be very informative and educational. What we're going to do right now is put up a trigger warning based on the subject matter of this video. Stop. This is a trigger alert. Content warning. This video and discussion contains descriptive information about DV. So at this moment, if you need to click off, we do understand, but we just want you to be aware. As we continue to get some other things out of the way, let's do some more housekeeping and let's share again. This is our fair use copyright notice. Just to let you know, if there are some issues or concerns about this video or our position on the fair use defense, please contact us at 202-607-8195 so we can discuss amicably, and we thank you. Now let's go over some statistics, and then I will be introducing, we'll give you a little background on who will be participating in this video. Let's bring up some statistics. On average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During 1 year, that equates to more than 10 million women and men. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner contact, actual violence, we can't say that word, and or intimate partner stalking with impacts such as injury, fearfulness, post-traumatic stress disorder, use of victim services, and contraction of STDs. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. This includes a range of behaviors from slapping, shoving, pushing, and in some cases might not be considered DV. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by an intimate partner. 1 in 10 women have actually been AR'd by an intimate partner. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence, which could be beating, burning, strangling by an intimate partner in their lifetime. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 18 men have been stalked by an intimate partner during their lifetime to the point in which they felt very fearful or believed that they or someone close to them would be harmed or transitioned. On a typical day, there are more than 20,000 phone calls placed to the DV hotlines nationwide. The presence of the tool used to shoot in a DV situation increases the risk of transitioning someone by 500%. Intimate partner violence accounts for 15% of all violent crimes. Women between the ages of 18 and 24 are most commonly abused by an intimate partner. 19% of domestic violence involves DV. I need to catch myself. Strike DV involves some type of weapon. Domestic victimization is correlated with a higher rate of depression and harming oneself, and only 34% of people who are injured by intimate partners receive medical care for their injuries because a lot of them do not even report it. So now that we have that information, let me share who will be on this panel. The first one that will share their story is a young lady. She is a mother and she has endured abuse on so many levels from her abuser. Also, we will have Dr. Michelle Craig. She attended American University where she received her degree in biology. She went to Howard University Medical School. She's a family practitioner with over 30 years of experience. She currently provides care and services as the medical director at Platinum Care in Washington, D.C. She is a mother of 3 grown adults, and she also cares for her mom. And not only is she a DV survivor, but she is also a breast cancer victor. We also have Mr. Tory Brooks, who is married and was the father of 5 daughters. Unfortunately, it is now only 4 daughters because he lost his oldest daughter to DV. He started his foundation, the Taurus Brooks DV Foundation, which was started after the loss of his daughter, but it also honors his mother and his father, who also did not survive DV. We will have Officer Carol D. Adams. She has worked in law enforcement for 31 years. She started her career with the Richmond Sheriff's Department, where she served 7 years prior to joining the Richmond, Virginia Police Department, where she has worked for 24 years. In that capacity, she has served in the Community Youth Interventions Division, where she was responsible for establishing and maintaining community partnerships, crime prevention education, and many other outreach. She now serves in the role special projects centered around community problem solving, focusing on engagement initiatives. Now I will bring up Mr. Brooks. We'll bring
Yes,
our young lady. How are you today?
fine, thank you.
Okay. And you?
I'm doing well. You can say my name.
Okay, great, great. I just want you to feel comfortable.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's wonderful seeing you, Velvet. Wonderful seeing you, Taurus. We have 2
Thank
other
you.
people waiting for. I don't know where they are, but for right now, we just want to welcome you to the platform. And
Thank you.
we thank you for taking the time out to actually share because this is a major issue that we need to deal with. And especially now that we have been kind of like isolated for these last 2 years, kind of like quarantine, a lot more has occurred. And so we just need to, discuss this and kind of bring this to the forefront. And I think it's always great for people to share so it can help someone else, especially when you have survived it. Now, Velvet, um, I'm going to let you go first. And you are a remarkable. young mother and young lady. You are, I have just seen you blossom. You have grown into this wonderful woman, and I'm so very proud of you. Now we can start by you sharing your story. I mean, how did you meet your abuser?
I'll start off by saying this because that compliment you gave me, I really appreciate that. Um, After everything was said and done, after I met my abuser, I don't want to say that he destroyed my life because he really didn't destroy it, right?
Mhm.
He
Right.
destroyed certain relationships, yeah. But I get a lot of compliments where people say, "Oh my gosh, I'm loving the woman you're turning into."
Mhm.
And that is like, for me personally, I laugh when I hear that in my head because when people go through DV,
Mhm.
you never really realize that they are actually good people.
Right.
They have so many great qualities about themselves. They just are never able to express that because of the abuse. And so, underneath all of the trauma was that woman that you see today.
Mm.
And if I would have never made the decision that I did because of my children, I don't know
Mhm.
where I would be in life.
Wow.
Needless to say, how I met my abuser was through Facebook.
Mhm.
My era and my generation, a lot of kids are on social media. They all have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. They all have all of these platforms. So we all, tune into that. And a big wave in this generation also is learning spirituality. But
Mhm.
see, for me personally, this is my own opinion. I feel like, especially after what I went through, people get spirituality and religion confused. So these children are practicing demonic rituals and demonic lifestyle behaviors that's hindering them from actually being able to evolve
Mhm.
spiritually, or what we would like to call it as God, under God's law.
Right.
And so when I met the abuser on Facebook, he just was saying how we were going to evolve spiritually, how he was going to give us the information to evolve, and how we were going to live this lifestyle and change the world and have better humans and be one with nature and eat healthier and have gardens and make our own clothes and harness our own food and our own water and take care of ourselves, be in a sense of a self sustainability. And because of who I naturally am, I went
Mm.
to Tuskegee University, and I majored in agriculture slash horticulture. So I was
Mhm.
already into the natural way of life,
Right.
wanting to heal myself and stuff like that. So my mistake by me being so young, my abuser, he targets people who are very young minded, don't
Mhm.
have a lot of experience when it comes to the real world and being sociable and stuff. And so it never dawned on me to get to know the person, like make sure that the person is a good person, look up videos, Google them. Now
Right.
that I'm older,
Mhm.
that is an aspect, but when I was younger, I was rosy eyed, like everybody's not like seeing the benefits of everybody and seeing everybody's potential and going off that, moving, making decisions off of that. And
Right.
so, long story short, I was with my abuser for 3 years, and I actually left. I escaped actually 3 times from him. Actually, I think it was 3 times. Yeah,
Mhm.
I escaped 3 times, and I willingly went back more than 4 times, I believe, because I would like run out the house and run away, and then I would go
Mhm.
back, multiple times. But me physically escaping,
Mhm.
every story was different. He did try to like keep me hostage, and he has like other people that surrounds him, so he uses them as pawns and try to make the world believe that those people can leave at any time, and that he doesn't have any real value in his mind for some other people. So, but when it came to me, he had a high value in his mind for me. Like I was a commodity to him, so he targeted me. He didn't treat me how he treated the other people. He kept me hostage. He stole all my documents. He used my child against me. He did everything that he could to, keep me with him. And so, yeah, I experienced a great amount of physical abuse, emotional, spiritually, you name it, mentally, verbally. So that's how I met him initially. And then
Right.
as I met my abuser in particularly, when I met him, he actually dragged me through the entire South America continent. And he also took me to like other places within the United States too. So just imagine, it almost like being trafficked.
Mm.
You
Wow.
know, I was forced to have I don't want to say the wrong word, but physical intimate relations with people that I didn't want to, against
Mm-hmm.
my will, even with him on multiple occasions. You know, and it was a situation where he pretended to be somebody, but then like underneath the surface he was this evil person, and it wasn't making sense to me until time went on and I started putting two and two together, and I started noticing that in a healthy relationship you don't fight
Mm-hmm.
like that. You don't
Right.
hit your spouse. You don't do that. So yeah, I just made a decision to take myself out of it completely. And the last time I escaped was in last November 2021, and I planned my escape for 3 months. And
Okay. And
so,
now, can you tell us what was that instance of abuse that really shook you up to say, I must leave?
mm, mm. So it actually was a series of events that took place. So during my last escape, during the 3 months, I had to. It was so much physical abuse that I had to do exactly what he wanted me to do in order to steal my passports, because we were in another country and I couldn't just leave, and I would be stranded. So I had to play him at his own game. So I had to manipulate him. Craziest situation I've ever been in my entire life. I had to manipulate him in order to escape. And so I basically just did everything he wanted me to do. I even did things that was outside of my character to be able to
Mm.
get my passport and for me and my child. So we he basically drugged me from, I believe that was Las Vegas, to back to Mexico in Central America, and he it was forcing me to be in relationship with other women. He considers himself to be polygamous, so he forced me to be in relationships with women that I didn't want to be with, and he just kept telling me that he'll kill me and he'll throw me in the woods, and he'll just tell social media that I ran away and no one knows what happened to me and I just left the baby. And he was
Mm.
also threatening other women in his little camp or whatever. He was threatening them too to kill them and just throw their bodies away and let social media know. And he was like really serious with it, because he started drinking and smoking. It was a lot of stuff that he was doing behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know, that was invoking the spirit to like come forth even more. So he dragged us all into this Airbnb. He had two separate Airbnbs. He have a cult, so he have women and men. He have about 7 women and like 6 men or something like that. If I'm wrong or whatever, it's like 6 women or 5 men or whatever the case. Needless to say, he put us in two separate Airbnbs, women in one and men in one. And in the women's one, he literally did anything he wanted sexually with us. He just did whatever he wanted. Kids there and all, pregnant women from for other men and everything. Like women were in relationships with other men in his camp, and he was still having intercourse with them and like making us all try to be his wives. And so I was like, okay, that's mad weird. Like, I don't want to do this. So, he had another incident that happened in that time span where he told the world and even told us that the reason why he have all of the wives is because he wants to mate with them and impregnate them so that he can mate his children, because he doesn't want his children to be in the society that we all coexist in. Like, he wants to be separate from the world. He seriously, in his mind, believed that he's the Messiah, like the second coming of Christ, and everybody's gonna have to bow down to him and all of this stuff. So, that was the straw. Like, that was the last straw. And then once I started doing like absolutely everything he wanted me to do, he started putting me on phone calls with women, random women, to have intercourse with them. He would get my pictures. Like, he would force me to take pictures, like nude pictures and like sexual videos and stuff, and he would send them to thousands of people without me knowing. And it wasn't until I opened up his phone to see what he was doing, and it was videos and pictures of me. And I was like, oh wow. Like, so amongst some other things, but they're not coming to me readily. But yeah, that's like that was the two main things that really like sealed the deal for me.
Okay. And the abuse, when was the last time that he really physically abused you? That
Mm.
was very devastating.
Well, the I wouldn't say the last time, but one time that was very devastating for me. He put me he took all of these people, it was about 15, almost 20 people. He made them make a circle around me. He made a woman grab my child. My child was 1 years old. He made a woman grab my child and hold her on the outside of this circle, and he beat me inside that circle for about an hour. And everybody was like, you need to submit to him and this and that. And I was like, he's trying to take my soul. I'm not submitting to him. Absolutely not. I'm a child of God. And so I let him beat me, period. And I did not get up. I did not look him in the face. I did not, none of that. My head was hurting so bad that I couldn't even look at the light. Like, the light could be on and my eyes could be closed and I could have my hand over my eyes, and it still hurted, to the point where he was like, do you want me to take you to the hospital? And I was like, I told him no, because people who go through DV, it don't register in that moment that they need to tell somebody that they need to go to the hospital. So I declined. And yeah, when I declined, I realized that he was manipulating me.
Wow. Wow. And so how did you finally um get all your paperwork and leave?
So, within the 3 month times, come on, Ellie, let's go use the potty. Let's go. Come on. During the 3 month time span, I was able to, like, I would do little stuff like act like I'm really friendly and I'm actually vibing with what's all going on. And I would go in the back room. Like, when he was in the living room, I would go in the back room and I would pack my clothes little by little. And the last night that I knew I had an opportunity, the night I knew the next morning I was gonna leave, that's when I actually took my passports from wherever they were and shoved them in my bag. And then when I woke up the next morning, everybody was like really asleep, because he had drunk a whole bottle of Hennessy, which I made sure of. And I made sure the girls was drunk and high. And I just made sure everybody was toe up. And I made a nice pallet. Come on, come on. I made a nice pallet on the floor, because he likes all of us to sleep together. So I made everybody feel comfortable, and then I picked my bags up and I put them outside, and I went back for my child, and I picked my bags up and I kept walking, and I never looked back.
For more videos like this and to stay informed and up to date even on this situation, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Speaking from the Purple Couch. Be blessed and have a wonderful day.